What's up? What's up? What's up? It's a crazy day to be a City fan. Uh, we got a lot to talk about, lot to go over, but appreciate you for jumping on. This is Talk Back Tuesdays. The point here is for you to have a chance to be able to say what you want to say. We want to hear from you, hear what your thoughts are about today's game, today's match, the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, the pros, the cons, all of it. We want to talk about it. If after the we talk about the match, if there's other things that you want to talk about, we can get into that too. But certainly appreciate everyone. Big ups to LB for the raid. Appreciate all of you that have jumped on. This is time for me to be shameless. If this is your first time here, if you haven't already, do me a favor. If you know me from LB show, do me a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Trying to start doing this. And this is what, 7th week of doing these shows on Tuesday evenings. So this is always something that you can jump on. There is a link in the chat. So if you are interested in coming on camera and chopping it up with me on screen, you are more than welcome. For instance, you can join me and Spartacus. Spartacus is on here. So appreciate everyone. Again, thank you for coming over and sharing some time with us. Big up, Spartacus. How you doing, brother?
Not bad, not bad. How about you?
I'm doing all right. I was doing better when we were up 5-1. I got to be honest.
Same. I've seen some stuff on Twitter today. God help these people. Swear to God.
So there's a lot to get into, but tell me what you saw and why it sounds like you think it may be a little bit over the top. And I get it. We're reactionary people, right? So when we were up 5-1, we were probably, oh my God, we're gonna win the league. When they come back and it's 5-4, it's like, okay, well now we're crap, right? There's something in between that we can find, a middle ground that is where we really sit. But I think it's okay to say that we weren't good.
No, I would agree with that personally. I would say we're
Let
not
me take
good,
that back.
but
We were good in the beginning, and then the wheels fell off. So I don't want to say we weren't good, because we were good, and then we were crap.
I
All in
think
the
we're
same
good.
game, all at the same
I
time.
think we're, yeah, I think we're good up until the moment where, and this happens in pretty much every game, the opposition starts to come man to man and press us high. Then we can't do anything anymore, and we just give the ball back to them at every opportunity. Can't create anymore, can't defend anymore, and it all just goes downhill. But the thing that I mentioned today is anybody who's scapegoating a player today is it's just not right. And the manager as well, it's just not right because it is a systematic issue. We have problems and we cannot ignore them, and we have players who have deficiencies that we cannot ignore as well. For all the things good that, for example, Donnarumma brings to the table, there are things that he does bad that he brings to the table as well. Same is true to Holland, the same is true to Foden, the same is true to Diaz, Josko, I know he, Nunes, everyone, every single one of them has shortcomings and strengths. I just
Sure.
think we built a squad where the shortcomings are not complemented by the strengths of other players. I think that's all there is to it.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, there's a lot to get into. We don't have to do it all in the first 5 minutes, but you know, so when I was watching, typically people come over here and they're like, "Oh, Tarek is the calm, cool, collected one," right? I don't really do crazy takes. I'm not gonna, kill the players typically, whatever, right? I state my opinions. I do feel strongly about them at times, but I try to be relatively level headed, and that's what happens when you're an unk. I'm almost in whatever's beyond unk. I'm almost in that point, right? So I typically I'm gonna be really level headed, but as I'm watching the match and I'm watching us collapse, I'm writing down fragile, weak, soft. Just the mindset is we're mentally fragile. When we were winning the league, when we were winning trebles, when we were winning domestic quads and all the things that we were winning, when we were doing that, we were talking about the mentality, the idea of mentality monsters. That does not exist right now. And maybe it's not, maybe to your point, maybe it's not mentality. Maybe it's just talent isn't there where it used to be. Maybe it's physically we're just not as good as we used to be. But it feels like the late game collapse is almost guaranteed.
I would agree with you if I didn't see a pattern, but I see a pattern. It's very, in my opinion, it's very clear to see. Back in the day, we used to have the ability to say, if you're gonna press us, come, we're gonna score. Because it doesn't matter how you do it, you can never be 11v11 in the press. You're always gonna be 10v10, 10v11. So by giving the ball to a goalkeeper who's as good as an outfield player on the ball, we're always able to pick up the gaps in the press and play those transition styles. Even last season, when we were crap, you can bring games like Chelsea and Newcastle, where Edison, for all of his shortcomings, was the cheat code in that regard. They chose to press us high. We punished both of them twice with an assist from Edison. So now that we don't have the goalkeeper who has any quality with the ball at his feet, we're not able to do that 10v11, that 11v10 in the build-up anymore. We're now all of a sudden 10v10. Then you have to be a lot more aggressive, and your profile of player has to be a lot stronger, faster, and more of that physical nature. And the players we bought in the summer are not that. I know he's not a physical guy. Chucky is not a physical guy. Reinders is not a physical guy. Those players, they were fine when the goal was to get a goalkeeper who was competent with a ball in his feet. But then when we switched everything and went to a goalkeeper who's just an out and out shot stopper, and it's not good at all with the ball in his feet, then those players become a liability. For example, Reinders now is becoming a liability. I know he can't get a sniff into the squad. Chucky, he's been doing well at times, but then when the intensity ramps up, he's been struggling as well. It's not because of a lack of quality or a lack of will or a lack of wanting. It's just they don't have the physicality to do it. And when the game becomes about physicality, we're going to lose because we don't have it.
Yeah. But is that a failure in the summer then? Because we went out and we bought Reinders, and he got a goal today, right? So big ups to him. He's gotten a goal. He's been getting some assists recently in other matches, but he just doesn't have that physical capacity. So, or he hasn't demonstrated an ability or a willingness to get into those tackles and to do the physical side of the game. And so is that a failure on our part to scout, or is it just, it'll come? I mean, was he that guy in
No,
Serie A?
He was never it. He was never
So
it.
we know what the Premier League is, right? It's always been boosted and talked about its physicality. It's, the most physical league, whatever. So why go get someone who doesn't have that, who's not willing to do that?
But this is the thing. I don't think it's. Look, we have to understand what was because we don't know what the thought process was. If we were thinking, let's go back to the treble system, the way we played in the treble, let's buy players to bring us back to that type of football. Then you take out Gundogan and you put in Reinders. Very, very good. They're very similar players. Very similar. Gundogan is a little bit better defensively. Reinders is a little bit better offensively. But overall, very similar players. Statistically, yes.
Okay, because that feels like a strong statement, because we've seen Gundo pop up, get big goals in big situations. We've seen, whether it be from headers, with his feet, he's had some really big goals for us. We always talked about his ability to kind of crash, come in late runs and all that kind of stuff. So it's just interesting to hear you say that.
Yeah,
Reinders might be better
between them. Yeah, slightly better, not much better. Just say like 1% and 1 to 5% better. But the thing for me is, if you do that, you take Gundo out of that treble system and put in Reinders. That's kind of a like for like swap, and very good. Talent identifying and very good targeting, prioritizing the right players. But then if you're thinking of changing from that style of football, from the treble, and going into a more club style where you have to have more physicality and more pace and power in the midfield, that's a terrible signing. Terrible signing, because he's never been that guy and will never be that guy. If you don't become a player until you're 26, it's very unlikely for you to become that player after that. And Brian is already 27, I think, 27 or 28. So he's not going to become that dual winning monster that gets stuck in everywhere. He's not going to do that. And we shouldn't be asking him to do something he's not. It's the same with Donnarumma. He's never going to become a good passer, and we shouldn't be asking him to, because he's not going to do it. It's unfair on the player to do so. So I just think terrible. I just think that the transition between Tiki and Viana was horrible from the club. Was horrible. And this is all from what I've heard and from what I've read and from people that I talked to. Khaldun has a very passive style of leadership. He's one of those leaders that tells you what he wants to achieve and tells you, work how you think is best. I'm going to give you the resource to do it, but you do your work. And if it's not good enough, you're getting sacked. This is the type of leader that he is, which works extremely well when you have a group that is as consistent and as in touch with each other as Pep, Tiki, and Viana. Pep, Tiki, and Soriano. Because all those three, they think of more or less on the same lines, and they have kind of very similar footballing ideas and work together for years and years and years. When you're going to take one of those guys out and bring a new one in, that passive style of leadership doesn't really work anymore. You have to be more active. You have to be scheduling meetings and forcing the people to talk to each other and have that better communication between each other for them to understand each other better. And from what I've heard, Khaldun didn't do that. He kept his passive style of leadership. You come to me when you need me, when you have a problem and you need to talk to me. This is the type of leader he is. But then you have to be a lot more proactive when you're in these types of changes. So I just think we're very badly that January this summer transfer window was just very badly run. Very badly run.
So I want to
mostly because when you get a goal, go on.
No, go ahead. So I was gonna go back to Luke's comment.
Because when you get a goalkeeper like a Donnarumma,
you got it. Go ahead.
What?
I feel like there's a delay, but go ahead, Spartacus.
No, go on.
Well, no, I was gonna go to Luke's comment here because this is
so when you have,
you got it.
I think I'm gonna drop out and come back. Give me a second.
Okay.
Because internet is shit right now.
No problem. Appreciate you though. Big up Spartacus for jumping on. Again, everybody, there is a link that is pinned in the chat. If you want to come on and you want to say what you want to say, this is the show for you. This is your chance to come on. It's basically a call-in show. If you want to come in, jump on the camera, jump on the mic, and have your say, whether it be for 5 minutes, you want to hang out for the whole stream, you're more than welcome to do that. But I do want to go back to Luke's comment. We're in a weird spot right now. Going forward, we look amazing. Defensively, especially in the second half of games, we look so shaky. Where is the game management? And I this is my thing. I wrote down, because again, I try to, I'm working because in the US, the match is during the workday, but I'm working, quite honestly. And if anybody hears from my job, then, you didn't hear this, but I'm doing an interview, but I'm also got the game on and then I'm making notes. So I wrote down, like, I have a poster of Muhammad Ali right here. And Muhammad Ali was famous for the rope-a-dope. If you don't know what the rope-a-dope is where he basically leaned up against the ropes and let the opponent punch themselves out, swing, punch themselves tired. He dodged, he bobbed, he weaved, he did all the things. But then when you were completely spent and had no more energy left, then he started to pummel you and he ended up winning these boxing matches. And it feels like our opponents are playing rope-a-dope with us. They're letting us do whatever we want in the beginning of matches. We're killing ourselves. We're running all over the pitch trying to defend. We're doing all the things, but then come the second half, they come out and they start swinging, and we don't have any energy left. We punched ourselves out of energy. Now we're punch drunk, and so now it's just easy. They just teeing off on us because we don't have enough energy to bob. We don't have enough energy to weave. We don't have an energy to block or do anything. We're just sitting there getting beat on. And that's what it feels like. And again, I understand this is me speaking out of my frustration, but man, how is it that we can be so good in the first half and then fall apart? And it's small margins. It's not like I don't think they were just like playing through us and doing all the things. It was mistakes here, mistakes there. And that feels mental to me. Like it's a mental thing. We get tired and then our standards drop. So it's like, what are we and I know we've got a new one of the new coaches in Pep Linders. He was well known, borderline famous for how much energy the team was going to spend there at Liverpool. And I saw a tweet earlier today that said we are running far more than everybody else in these matches.
Far more.
Like way more than any other team in the league. We're running like crazy. Are we doing too much running early in matches? I've always told, like when it was, whether it was on Shades of Blue or wherever else, I always said that even if we got down because maybe the other team is playing really good, they're really solid defensively, whatever, and they nick a goal, we get down. I always felt like we would get back into the match because I knew that they couldn't defend that way for 90 minutes. We were going to have the ball 75, 80% of the time. We're just going to pummel you, and it's just a matter of time. But now it feels the reverse. It feels the reverse to me. Not only now, the longer the game goes, the more likely we are to fall apart. And that's crazy to me. Go ahead. You were trying to say something earlier.
I was saying earlier, like when you have, I think the signings that we got in the summer, they don't fit well with each other, and specifically the first group with Donnarumma specifically. Back in the day, and I'm gonna stress this thing out, why were we able to just go like, yeah, they can't defend like this for 90 minutes? Because there was no other way for them to defend. If they went up the field and pressed us high and went blow for blow, they couldn't get the ball from us. Why? Because we were literally with a man advantage. We had one more player on the football field. You cannot ask the goalkeeper to defend the man. Like, you're always going to defend with 10 people. So if you have a goalkeeper like Edison, who is legitimately an extra man outfield, they are never really going to be able to get the ball out of us. And this is why some of the coaches back in the day, they used to say, yeah, we don't press City because there's no point in doing so. You're just going to leave yourself more exposed. Now, they can press us. And when they do, they force us to play the way they want, the way they want us to play, which is physical power, strength, and just make it a duel. And when you make a duel, you take the quality out of the game. You take that guy's better, but if I'm physically, let's pretend it's Pedri versus Wanyama. Pedri, the guy from Barcelona, Wanyama, the ex-Spurs guy who was like a physical monster.
Yeah.
If Pedri has the ball, 9 times out of 10, he's gonna go through Wanyama. Wanyama is not gonna take the ball away from him. But at the time that he's going to get the ball, if Wanyama is right there with him and making a physical contest, then Pedri is going to lose that challenge 10 times out of 10 because he's not going to get the physical edge over Wanyama.
Sure.
And this is what the sides are doing to us right now. They're getting the physical advantage to us and taking the quality out of the game. So our players who have the quality, they don't have the ability to show that they have the quality, and they don't have the time to do it either. And this is the issue right now. Pep has not figured out a way to create that superiority in the build-up to make the players who have the quality stand out with both Donnarumma and Holland on the pitch. Because how PSG did it was they brought Dembele into the midfield as a false nine. They brought Vitinha into the back line as a auxiliary centre back. The wingers went up the pitch. The fullbacks went up the pitch, and the wingers went narrow. So this way, they still keep the back line high. They still have more men in the midfield, and they still have more superiority in the back line, even though they are still having the Donnarumma in net, because the ball doesn't need to get to Donnarumma because Vitinha is able to go through that press. We don't have the option to do that because, let's be honest, who wants Holland to be dropping into the midfield and playing like Hurricane? Nobody. And if
although he has been
mid-
better this season, though he has been better. At dropping deep and contributing to the build-up.
He has been better, but what they did with Dembele is he was a midfielder. He wasn't dropped deep to help. He was playing as a midfielder. Yeah. He was just going there and staying there, and not just go make a first time pass to somebody and then spin and running behind. No, Dembele was there. He got the ball. He dribbled around a little bit, found passes, stayed there, just creating that superiority, that man advantage. We don't have the players to do that because Holland is not going to do that. Holland does 100 different things on the pitch. That's not one of them. You don't want him to be getting the ball in small spaces. You want to create the space for him to run into. And if you bring a midfielder into the back line without bringing a forward into the midfield, then you're leaving your midfield short, which is a problem, right? Because when you have a midfield short, you're not really going to win the battle. It's going to make it harder for the midfielders to play. So it's just, I think the squad right now is not on a good spot. We just haven't bought the players to do right. Can Pep find a way? Of course he can. It's Pep Guardiola. The guy's a fucking genius. But I cannot see how he finds a way. If you understand what I mean. I think we just need to get to January. I think maybe get Elliot Anderson in. I think everybody asking for a winger today probably shut everybody up because it wasn't scoring goals an issue. That wasn't the issue today. The issue was keeping possession. We couldn't keep possession to do anything. We scored the goals. We got a 5-1 lead, and we just couldn't keep it because we just couldn't keep the possession. And yeah, that's the issue for me.
So let me ask this question because it feels like, and maybe it's just coincidental, maybe it's not, causation, but it's just coincidence. But it feels like once Nico G went off, we lost our grip on the game. Now, maybe maybe it's not causation, but we were crying out as a fan base, recognizing that, hey, this player is being spammed out, much like we had seen Rodri be spammed out. And we were concerned because we know that effectively Rodri's our first choice midfielder, defensive midfielder. Nico G technically is our second choice, and we don't have a third. And so we were concerned about Nico G. And so we wanted to, kind of maintain his health. But then when he goes off, we see that we kind of fall apart. Now, maybe that's not causation, but that's what it looks like on the pitch. So what do you do if you're Pep, if you don't feel comfortable taking this player off, but also if I don't take him off, I'm going to run him in the ground? So you're right. I think we do need to go back into the transfer window to try to go find somebody. But how do you go get a player that's effectively going to be your third choice defensive midfielder? Is Elliot Anderson coming for that? I don't think so.
Elliot Anderson, I think I see him more as a 8 than a 6, to be honest. But to that point, let's go to the root of the thing then. I don't think that Nico G being on the pitch or not really matters, because Nico G was on the pitch for Leeds. Nico G was on the pitch for Newcastle, and we still fucked up the same. Like, it was the same issue. They pressed us, we couldn't play out, and we lost the game. So it's not Nico G is on the pitch, it's fine. No, it's a much deeper issue than that, in my opinion.
Fair enough. So lots of things, so I have tradition. I don't know how many of you listen to Shades of Blue. Big up Mulv. Big up, brother. There's a link in the chat if you want to jump on. You may be busy, may not be able to, but if you do want to jump on, there's a link in the chat pinned at the top. Feel free to hit it. But I have this, if you want to call it tradition. Yeah, on Shades of Blue. When we score 5, anytime we score 5, I hit. Okay, I turned the volume down. So here we go. I do this. Yeah, we got 5 on it, right? So I got to hit that on my own show so that you guys can get accustomed to it. But anytime we get 5, you're going to hear. But, so scoring 5, somebody posted in the chat earlier. Why are we not talking? I think it might have been, was it Magnus? But why are we not focused on the 5 that we score? We're focused on the 4 that we gave up. Why not focus on the 5 that we scored? And to a certain extent, that's fair, especially when you're up 5-1. So we've been called. I won't say that we said it, but we've been called the Erling Holland team. If he doesn't score, we can't score. If he doesn't score, there's no hope for us. He got a goal today, but we got a lot of goals from other places, not just from him. Should we be celebrating that? Are we being too negative as a fan base in general? It sounds like, Spartacus, maybe that you think we might be.
I think we should be celebrating the goals that we scored because they were fantastic goals. We showed the repertoire of patterns of attacking. We scored goals from possession-based football. We scored goals from transitioning. So I think recognizing that is very, very important as well. But I also think that, and for the reason that I said, some of the takes I've seen on Twitter, I don't like to crash out on players, which is why I usually don't, because I don't think it helps at all. But if somebody's going to crash out on a player, crash it on the right ones. And I've seen people crashing out on Savio. I've seen people even blaming Edison, who's at fucking Turkey. So this is more where I was referring to. I think the state where the fan base is ridiculous.
Wait, so you said somebody was blaming Ederson and he's in Turkey? Yeah. That's funny.
I'll quote what the person said. He said it's Edison's fault because he conditioned the defenders to be close to the goalkeeper to block the shots because they know that he can't save shots. And this is fucking Donnarumma. This is troubling Donnarumma now because of that. So,
big up.
If you're gonna,
go ahead.
Who's that?
House Captain.
Oh, good morning, Magnus. Oh no, you're actually not in Australia, so.
Hello, guys. Are you there? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Oh, good. How are we? Are we okay? We all stable?
Yeah, everybody's doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm off the edge.
Right. I'm here off the edge. Good. Just keep coming. Another step back, you'll be fine. Yeah, it's wow, what a game that was. Can you imagine if you're a neutral watching that game?
It is a great advertisement for the Premier League. Great advertisement for the Premier League.
And you've been to that ground, haven't you, Terry?
So, yes, it was not quite that exciting. And thankfully, I'm okay with that. But that is so if you don't know, I was able to take a trip with my family last season. The last match of the season was us against Fulham at Fulham. And so I was able to go spend time with my family. We all went to the match and I got to see KDB's last match with the team. We got to kind of cheer him off the pitch, all the things. It was great. It was amazing. So that is the one Premier League stadium that I've been to so far. My hope, I don't know if it'll happen this season yet, but I will be back. I'll be at the Etihad probably in the next 12 to 18 months for sure. I will be back. Yeah. My wife told me basically, she was like, look, the first time we all had to go. We all have to go the first time. So then she was like, okay, I've been there. I don't need to go back. Next time you just go on your own. So it'll be a lot cheaper this time around. So we'll see.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
Yeah. So thankfully, my wife is one of those people that just like, I understand you're a big City fan. Go do your thing. Just leave me alone.
Good.
Oh,
That's
good.
pretty much what it is. Just leave me alone.
You've married well, Tarek. You've married well.
Yeah, better than I should have. Better than I should have. So appreciate that. So what are you thinking?
What the overall? I'll tell you something, and a couple of the guys I've been speaking to that they know that I didn't actually see the first half today. I only saw the second half, so you can imagine from my point of view what I'm walking into. I'm like, whoa!
Wait, you saw the first half or the second?
I saw the second half only.
The second.
Oh, okay.
So I was out shoveling snow, as you can appreciate, can't you?
Yes, yes. Unfortunately. So hold on. I gotta say. So today's what, Tuesday? So Sunday, I was shoveling snow Sunday, and fell on my backside.
Oh,
I'm getting too old for this, man. My snowblower doesn't work. This is me complaining. I apologize. You guys didn't come here to hear that. You came here to talk City, but you mentioned snow and shoveling, and I just had a flashback. I apologize.
I'm sorry about that.
PTSD.
As if the game wasn't bad enough, But yeah, it was a funny old game because I came in and I saw the scoreline and I went, "Oh, that's great." Right, okay. And I was screaming for subs from around about the 50th minute. I says, get these guys on now. We're, 4-1 up at that point, maybe close to being 5-1. I'm like, get these guys on now. Give some of these guys a bit of a rest. But it went a little bit longer than that. And I went, no, come on. Just trust your team. Trust your team. And trust the squad players as well. The guys on the bench. Surely to goodness now, we're kind of getting into like the last half hour of the game, last 25 minutes of the game. Make your subs. And he did. And look what happened. So I feel a bit like that about Pep in terms of he's going to get damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. If he makes the subs too early, people will complain. If he makes them too late, they will complain about that also. So unfortunately, part of our fan base have really got the knives out for him. And it's not great. But having said that, the players that finished the game should have been of enough quality to see this out from and prevent it from being nerve-wracking like it was eventually. That's kind of my feeling.
Operative word is should.
They should have. I mean, not much you can do as a manager if you say, right, okay, we've got so many internationals in this squad. Go on there, just see the game out, be professional, keep ball as much as you can, and then, just do what you have to do. Go to the corner flag if you have to. But by the time, when he was making those substitutions, though, there should have been no thought of going to the corner flags. It should have been, just keep ball, guys. Just keep ball, pass it around, run the clock down.
But Magnus, this is the thing. I've talked to a couple of people now, and I was saying the same, like the subs and shit. But we're talking like he made 5 subs, he made 3, and 2 of them were in the front line. So did the subs really make that much of a difference for the game? Or was it just that Fulham changed their approach?
I think it's more the latter. Than the former. But what is concerning me at the moment, and we've seen it in the last few games, is that the on-field management of the players themselves, they don't seem to have the nous. They don't seem to be able to control situations, see what's going on, position themselves to make things easier for the rest of the team. They just seem to be able to, what's happening? We don't know how to adapt. Why can't we adapt to this? And we're talking about international players here. Which is a little bit concerning. And that's not down to the manager. He can only do so much from the sideline to dictate what needs to be done. And my God, does he do that? But, at the end of the day, these players need to take some responsibility. We haven't got that many ball-playing leaders on the field within the squad. So it's, there's little bits here and there that we need to try and improve. It's just the way it is at the moment. We're a team in transition. It's going to take time. We need everybody to be as patient as they can And that's just the way it is. And hopefully January we might be able to, chip away at some of the things that we need to be addressed. But the big thing's going to be in the summer. We need to be in the window again. And let's see where we are. It'll be 2 years on from. I've always said it's going to take about 2 summer transfer windows to try and properly rebuild this squad. And that's kind of where we are. We're still a little bit short at the moment, but I think we're doing very well to be where we are in the table. And it'll be an indictment on the rival clubs around us if we manage to snatch this league title this season. It should be so embarrassing for them if we do when we're through a transition like this.
Oh, if we win the title, if we get out in front of Arsenal and they don't win, they've got to be demoralized.
Yep.
Because this is like their best chance to win it.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
It's all on them.
The craziest thing is that right now, currently, 2 points behind.
And that's what I was going to get to. We're only 2 points behind.
Yeah, win ugly.
And again, sometimes it doesn't matter how you win. You just got to get over the line. Now, I do think over the course of a 38-game season that your results will effectively follow or reflect your performance, right? So if you're consistently performing poorly, it's just a matter of time you're going to stop getting over the line. But in a game here and there, you just need 3 points, man. And so now it puts a little bit of pressure on Arsenal. They haven't really had to be concerned. If they don't go, if they drop more points, we're within 1 game. Let's say they only get a draw. They go up 3. Now we win and we're tied up. So we're right there, close enough that they start to feel the pressure. So I think, again, I understand because I'm a little frustrated. I came in probably a little more heated than I typically do. Because again, it is frustrating to be up 5-1 and then only end up 5-4. That's frustrating. And I think that's fair to be frustrated. But can't lose sight of the big picture. And that is that we are only 2 points away from Arsenal. So big ups there. I do have a question, though. And this is Dylan. Dylan said giving up 4 is ridiculous. So I think we all agree with that. But Fulham did score some bangers, to be fair. Yes, they scored some bangers. And I guess the question I have, are we not being fair to Fulham? Because we're saying it, I'm saying it as if it's all just us. We suck. We were poor. We were this, we were that. And therefore it ended up 5-4. Maybe there's a little bit of, Fulham were decent on the day. Is there any amount of credit that we need to just give to them? I'm sure there's some, but how much credit do we need to give to them?
Right. I'll just quickly say this and I'll let Spartacus pop in. I will simply say yes and no is the answer to that. And I'll let Spartacus say his piece and then he can drop back to me. So
you can say first because I was going to say pretty much the same thing, I think. So.
Oh, right. Well, I will say this, right. Fulham did well. They switched things up again, and we've been playing against a few teams who have done this now in the second half of games, whereby the coaches have changed it to come out into the second half, and it's changed slightly. And again, this goes back to the failure for the players to adapt. It makes things a bit more difficult for us. What I will say in credit to Fulham is it's right. What I think it was Dylan who said it, that some of the finishes were good. And that's fair enough, and that's true. But my concern is not so much the quality of their finishing, it's what leads up to the guy having
to finish
that chance in the first place. Yeah, exactly. There's elements there within our sort of like unit that we can improve on to deny those opportunities to begin with. So that's where I would be focused on. But you have got to take your hat off to the guys who did the finishes. They were just difficult, and well done. Go on, Paolo.
Yeah, I was going to say pretty much the same thing. And I just like, we don't have to look at the finishes themselves and more how the finish came by. And 3 out of the 4 goals came by loose balls. and they got the ball in the midfield and they took a first-time shot. 3 of them were literally the same goal. The ball gets crossed into the box. We failed to deal with it. Could have been Donnarumma, the centre-backs, Bernardo, whoever. We failed to deal with it. The ball ends up falling to a Fulham player free on the edge of our box and taking a shot. And great shots, but Premier League level players, if they get a free shot with the ball not really bouncing badly or doing any type of weird movement, free on the edge of the box, they should be scoring.
Yep.
Pretty much any outfield Premier League mid player should be doing that. So yes, give them the credit for the change in posture and the finishers themselves, good, but also look at our team and why the chances were created in the first place.
100%.
Big up Louis.
Louis lad.
Big up, Tuck.
What you saying?
Nothing new. How about you? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I think, like everybody else said, kind of got talked off the ledge if you were on it. So let me ask this question for the group.
I gotta say, by the way, big up your song earlier. I got 5 on it.
Could you hear it? Somebody said they couldn't hear it. I think it was maybe low at first or whatever.
I kind of thought, because like I remember that song back in the day. I always loved it.
The Loonies. And this is me being an unk, right? I don't know all the new music that's coming out today. I go back to the 90s, the early 2000s, even the 80s and whatever, right? So that's where I go. That's where I go.
Yeah, my songs back in the day, obviously Oasis, like all those Manchester bangers. The other ones were Eminem's first 2 albums, the Eminem Show and the one before that. You know, that one, 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying, Outkast.
Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
those two.
That's in my ballpark. That's in my wheelhouse. Yeah.
I know I was born in 92, but
my god!
Oh my god! I won't tell you. I will not tell you when I was born, because I'm getting called an unk, and I appreciate it because unk is a thing of endearment to me, right? But if I tell you when I was born, you might call me something beyond that. Now like this guy right here, Mulv, right? We call him the Podfather, right? Because in the U.S., he's like the guy from a podcasting, especially city-based standpoint. He was the guy, right? Him and Joey. So if I told you how old I was and when I was born, I would be grandfather age or something. I don't know. Big up, Mulv. Glad to have you, man.
Have you got 8K? Have you got 8K on Mulv, by the way? It looks like you got 8K.
Just got it like that, bro.
What are you saying about this game today, Mulv?
No, hold on. Did I walk in on hip hop talk?
So I told people that on our show on Shades of Blue, anytime we get 5 goals, I have to hit
I got 5.
So I got to hit the Loonies.
Moon?
No, it's the Loonies.
Oh, the Loonies. All right.
Yeah, so I do that every time. Well, we used to do that when we would score 5. But you guys, be honest, we haven't scored 5 in a long time. We're not the same free-flowing offense that we used to be.
We scored 5 against Burnley.
Did we score 5 against Burnley? Again, that's we did. You're right. So again, I think last season we didn't. I don't know if I played that drop at all last season.
I don't think we did.
Yeah.
Last time was 24.
So I don't get it very often. But since we're talking, I wasn't going to do this, but since we're talking hip hop, I also like this one from KRS-One.
Oh yeah.
So anytime we get 5, I got either one of those drops on ready to go. But yeah, so it's good to be able to play it today. Unfortunately, I was setting that up like, I'm going to be able to play this today. And then we start giving up goals. And then I was afraid that, we might give up more than we score. I was a little nervous. So tell me about what your thoughts were, Mo.
I guess in that vein, we're just lucky it didn't get to 6-7.
Yes. 6-7.
Oh my God.
Thanks for teeing me up with that one. That was great. I appreciate it. It's a little ollie.
Hey, I'm loving the show, by the way, and big up everybody on the panel.
Appreciate you jumping on, man.
House captain. I was a house captain when I lived in England.
There you go, see?
Yeah. We were the Windsor house. We were green. Anyway,
so what is the house captain?
So they call them like prefects, and or like head boy or head girl. You're sort of like Harry Potter, yeah, and they've got the houses, like Gryffindor and all of that.
We're showing our age now.
Yeah, they do something similar at a lot of schools in England where they break you down into like they call them houses, and you compete against each other throughout the year in academics, in sports, or whatever, and every year somebody gets elected like the house captain, like the captain of the house, I think there's it's going back a long way now, but there was a boy, a girl, and then there were like vice captains, and anyway, it was a bit of a popularity contest back in the day. Not bragging.
Big up, Patrick.
Yeah.
Appreciate
What's
you,
up,
man.
Patrick?
I never knew you had a channel. I'm surprised.
I just started doing it relatively recently. I'm always still going to do my thing with Shades of Blue, but probably about 8 weeks ago I started doing this. I was paying for it for a while. I've been paying for it, and I just wasn't using it. So I was like, I'm gonna either stop paying for it or start using it. I decided to start using it.
It's a bit like Bobby Brown, I think, sort of breaking away from New Edition. Doing his own thing.
No, I'm not going anywhere. Don't put that in. Don't put that out in the ether, man. Don't put that out there in the ether. Look, as a matter of fact, I'm supposed to. When this ends, I'm supposed to go over there and record with Shades of Blue. And I'm gonna have to hear it. They're gonna be like, "We heard him say it." I've assured those guys that I'm not going anywhere. But man, glad to see you, man. Glad to see you.
Nah, big up to all of you. I don't know how it's. The thing is, I always search for city content. I think I follow a lot of city content creators from India, all over the world. So I was like, nah, I was like, no way. I was like, that's. So I saw. Okay, that's noisy fella over there. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, is that Tarek? And I was like, is that Tarek? What Tarek? Top 4? I was like, nah. Then I was like, let me go check that. Okay, now big up to you guys. I'm pretty sure you've already spoken about this game. I was on panels answering on behalf of Man City. What is that?
Patrick, by the way, I hope it all goes well next week for you with or is it this week with what's going on?
Unfortunately, it's not next week anymore. I don't know if you can say sabotaged. I went to the hospital. They told me on the phone that okay, we're coming here to discuss some options. I went there. Believe it or not, it's actually either tomorrow or Thursday. It's going on just like that. So
I hope it all goes well for you, mate.
Nah, big up. It's just I just had to tell people because they're not going to see me for a while. So I said it's best to tell people. But the channel is in good hands anyway. There's a lot of people who run it. But it is what it is. So today I said I'm going to watch my Man City match, and I didn't know that I'll watch one of the most ridiculous football matches I've ever seen in my life. I have no idea what's just happened. I don't know. I can't explain it. I don't know.
It was not good for your heart. Let's say that. So
it's not.
I was listening to what Pep was saying after the match, and I largely agree with him. He was talking about us being a pretty inexperienced collective. When you look around the pitch and you look at whose sort of first year it is, or maybe it's the first year in that position, like Nico O'Reilly, Nunes, Nico G has really not been here that long yet. Donnarumma getting used to the setup.
Did anyone read Nico's quotes with Man City last night after Pep's embargo?
No,
he was saying about how he's grateful for the opportunity to be the left back, but he didn't actually expect to be in this situation this quickly into his career at City, because I think a lot of people thought he's going to be that second or third going into midfield, like ahead of Cesar, like swapping Bernardo or Cesani when they come off. But him to be the number one left back, and it's credit to him as well that he's already solidified it. Like he's solidified it a bit like Nico G as well, because when Pep gives you that trust, you know you got his backing. I mean, it can be a good thing, but it can be a
Yeah.
bad thing at the same time, because if he doesn't trust, plus I'm worried about him in a way, because him playing that much and Nico G in the same way, playing that much, playing in a pep team is unbelievably demanding.
Yeah.
And ain't no he's going to AFCON in 10 days or whatever it is.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
like Nico G, we do not know when Rodri comes back. And he's relying on Nico O'Reilly to be the DM, or maybe we have to wait until January to get whoever.
Yeah. No, in effect, what Pep is saying is we shouldn't expect, really tight chemistry at this
fair.
point. And I think the addition of Donnarumma, while he's got a massive upside in terms of keeping the ball out of the net, I think he actually slows down our development
Sucks.
as these new players get used to each other, right? So because he's not brilliant with his feet, the build up, which is key to all of Pep's success, I think at the club,
Slower.
is slowed down as Donnarumma tries to catch up with everybody else and catch up at the same time as newbies in the squad, like Nunez at right back, Nico O'Reilly at left back, Nico G in the middle, which is the key position, right? So, and Reinders getting used to things. So I think we're going to have to be patient because we're at the beginning of a development rather than at the end. And we've got a lot of youth. We've got a lot of new players. We've got people playing new positions. And I think what we ought to do is just take this win. I was debating myself earlier. Would I have preferred to have played better and drawn?
No.
Like it's a tie, or would I take this win having looked a bit dodgy at the back?
I'll take the 3 points anytime.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, again, I want us to. Again, I said this earlier. I think over the course of the season, our performances will dictate our, like how we perform in the game will dictate how many points we're going to get. Right. So I don't think you can do that long term. But in any one game or a couple games here and there, just give me 3 points. I don't care how we look. I don't care what the performance looks like. I don't care if, it was the joke earlier in the season. Own goal had the most, second most points or goals for us. I don't care if it's an own goal. Just get me across the line.
We did get rid of own goals, by the way.
Yes, we did.
I know there's another channel that they big up Phil so much. Can we have a minute to talk about him actually? Because
he was fantastic, isn't it?
Yep.
Apparently he's a bad player,
Yeah, but can I say one thing though before I forget? I felt joy in this football match, and that's before. I think everyone is laughing. I said that everyone keeps laughing. So let me explain the joy. I saw Man City at their best in this football match. Does that make sense? I saw the Man City that we used to watch back in the days, because Fulham are not mugs. Let's not lie. Even the treble season, Alvarez had to score a wonder goal to make it 2-1 against Fulham. Every time we went to Fulham, we struggled. So today we played Fulham off the park and we made them look average until Nico G was subbed with Doku, and then changes were made. So for me, Phil Foden, that goal is amazing. And I said something on the panel I was on. I said, what if this is just, I know a lot of people are going to say it's hopium, but what if Man City keep playing like this and then teams, right, one park the bus against us, they'll look at us and say, oh, these guys are easy to get at, but Man City have got such quality that they'll score the goals with Holland, Foden, and these guys, that we'll end up in games like this where it's going to be a basketball match because teams don't want to park the bus anymore because they think that they can get at us.
That first chance for Holland in the first half, where he hit the post, Phil, dare I say it, better than Mahrez. The ball's coming up from the air and he flicks it and he gets it out of his feet. He has two people around him and he's still able to pass it to Haaland.
That's just brilliant play from Fulham.
Patrick, were you about in the Kevin Keegan days?
No.
You would have if you took joy from the match tonight. Go back and watch some matches when Kevin Keegan was in charge. You'd absolutely love it, mate.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know. I'm confused. After today, I don't know if I have to be angry or have to be happy, but I'm in between. I don't have I don't care much. I know that I was a bit unhappy with the game and how things went, but I'm sitting there. I was like, you know what? What if City fugazi their way to a big title by playing like this? Because it can happen. Because nobody fears us right now, and it's
Just
still a dangerous team. So I don't know.
to some extent,
We're
it does,
very
it does
gettable.
suit our strengths in that you've probably got the best counter-attacking number 9 in world football in Holland in terms of his pace and power, right? Phil Foden can do it really well. Reinders can do it really well. Jeremy Doku's great on a counter-attack. We've got players that are suited to play in that way. It's just I think the worry is that it just looks a bit soft at the back, doesn't it?
I think that we have some players who are able to do that, but to be able to do that consistently, we need the goalkeeper to improve his feet, or find a way to change something. Because as you said, if you're gonna play in the counter-attack, we need to get the ball out of the goalkeeper fast. But if the goalkeeper can't do it, then you create that situation where you're being pressed and you're being forced to be playing the ball long every time, but then you don't have the physicality in the midfield to win it back, and then you just create the cycle where Fulham just has the possession 100%, like 60% of the second half, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but Spartacus, can I ask you something, right? If you like, even this physicality we keep talking about, I know it's a different team, but I'm looking at that. I keep looking at that PSG midfield. It's not that physical. Am I wrong to say that? That PSG midfield is
You're
just
not-
full of technique. It's full of technique.
You're not wrong, but then you're just looking
But
at
is
the
that-
midfield and not the forward line.
The technical,
Because what
the technical
PSG
ability.
But is
the
that?
technical-
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go on, Carrick.
Well, no, I was gonna say, is that an issue? Not an issue, but is that just the difference between the leagues? Is that, in the Premier League you need to have that physical midfield, where maybe in France you don't?
No,
I
I
don't know.
think-
I'm asking the question.
Disagree.
We did like look. I think the PSG side I'm talking about like the PSG because I did not watch La Liga. I only watch PSG in the champs. So I'm
Hold on one
thinking that
sec. Big up
Don
Don
Hussam as well.
Hussam. Yeah, big up Hussam. Appreciate you jumping on. I'm sure you got something to say about City. If you want to come on, there is a link in the chat. You're more than welcome to come on. But you're gonna be over here on my channel now. I'm not over on yours. No, I'm just kidding. You're more than welcome to. Judge Mo, MHF Ray, you guys are both more than welcome to come on. But big ups to everybody that came over from MHF. We really appreciate you coming over. Do me a favor. I just started this channel about, 8 weeks ago. It's probably about 80. There's a couple people that have subscribed so far throughout today. I need your help. I need you to help me get to 100 subscribers. That should be easy because most of y'all ain't subscribers yet. So go ahead and hit that button, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Let's get that to 100. I appreciate you in advance. Go ahead, Patrick, you were saying.
now I'm just saying I just watched. It was about Donnarumma because somehow PSG found a way to carry him with his less passing. To be honest, he's not a bad passer per se.
No, he is a
Because
bad passer.
I've seen worse, Spartacus. But I remember you explained it, Spartacus. You said they had Vitinha carrying the ball for him a lot.
But not only that, they also had Dembele dropping into the midfield and being an actual midfielder, not dropping in every now and again, passing up and then running in behind him. He was an actual midfielder.
But now we have him. So what can we do? Because why did Pep pick him up? Because that's the
Buy
question,
new
though.
players. Buy new players.
Okay, I see. I don't know. I just feel like I look, apart from the setup, I also give him credit because he saved us. Some of the saves he's done, I sit down. I don't want to say bad things about Edison, but I've sat down and said I loved Edison, but if that was Edison, that's going in. That's what I've said. Donnarumma has actually saved us a few times.
The Smith Rowe one in the first half. Edison's either like he does not expect that shot.
He doesn't see it.
Which one was it?
There was one way
it goes through Diaz's legs. That was the only shot he had in the that's the only shot he had in the first half as well.
But this is the thing. Okay, you're saying it is correct. He's far better keeper than Edison is.
Oh, don't
But
get me,
then you're
Spark,
also
don't get me wrong. Like, there's still a lot of improvement for Donnarumma to have, but the Smith Rowe's goal, Iwobi's, and both are Chinquezi's. There's absolutely nothing for those goals that he
Those
can
were
do.
beautiful goals. Beautiful goals.
I don't think that this is the thing for me. And I'm not gonna judge Donnarumma on that because it's not fair, and I don't think anybody should because it's not fair on the guy. He's never gonna improve with his feet. He's been playing football for about 10 years already. If he didn't improve in 10 years, it's not going to be in the latter 10 years of his career.
I think he can get better at knowing the patterns and what decisions to make, right?
I don't think he can.
No. Okay, interesting.
Because from what I've heard at PSG, from people inside the dressing room, Enrique gave up on him, on trying to teach him how to play with his feet. He literally gave up on the player. He tried
Is that why he let him go and went and got Chevalier?
Yes, as well.
Do you think he regrets that?
No.
I think low-key the fans do though, because the fans were shouting for Donnarumma to come back. They've been shouting for Donnarumma.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking because I've seen a couple of the games as well. Sevier is not. He's not exactly what everyone thought he would be.
But again, this is a young goalkeeper going from a Lille side to a PSG side who's a treble win and having to fill in the shoes of the goalkeeper who won a treble. If he didn't play badly, I would be extremely surprised.
Wait, so Spartacus, can I ask you directly, Spartacus? So do you want? Let me ask you this in a direct way, because I see you love the build-up and stuff, and I get where you're coming from. So, if you had a choice right now, would you bring back James Trafford to the goal to improve the build?
No, when I say buy new players, I don't mean buy a new goalkeeper. I mean buy new midfielders. If we're gonna have to kick it long more often than we're actually able to play out of a press, we have to win the second ball. The midfielders that we have, including Thierry Reinders and especially Thierry Reinders, are not that. They're not second ball winners. So we have to buy an Elliot Anderson or somebody like that. And this is why I said I think the transfer business in the summer was confusing because we didn't buy players that fit with each other very well. Thierry Reinders doesn't fit with Donnarumma. I don't think Chucky really does either, but I think he's young enough where we can actually improve that. I think we have a problem with Aitnohi as well because I don't think he suits this type of football that we're moving into. So I think let's make this game a little bit. Let's play this game. Let's say that we just finished the treble. We know Gundogan is going, and we get Thierry Reinders to replace him. I don't think the level drops if we keep playing the same way. I don't think it drops particularly much. Now, if we're changing to play a more direct physical style where you're required to win 50-50s and go into duels, getting stuck in, then the level will drop massively because that's just not Thierry Reinders. Thierry Reinders is never going to do that. Again, the guy's 26. He's not going to learn how to be a whole new player in a couple seasons. That's not going to happen. He's a player that is a very good box crasher, very good players on the edge of the box and everything. But if you're not going to be playing a more possession-based style, you're going to go more into this transition way that we're playing right now, you don't have box crashers. Because box crashing comes from the winger forcing the opposition to drop deeper, and then you have your striker forcing the centre backs to be closer to the goalkeeper, which opens up the space for the midfielder to run into, and then get the box crashing. If you're not,
could a solution? I like where you're going with this. Could a solution? Like I dropped in the chat earlier before I came on, could a solution temporarily be to play Nico, G, and Rodri together and sort of stabilize and win second balls there? And then if that gets good enough, then maybe you could introduce Reinders in some matches to take the place of one of them who could maybe hold down the six on their own in certain instances. So what do you think about that?
I think Reinders is going to have to fight Foden for his place. I don't think we can see him and Foden together. I think we're going to need the Nico G Rodri midfield. And this is why I'm saying Reinders, get what is the name of the kid again? Elliot Anderson in or Adam Watson, one of those two.
I don't see this. This is just me, and I think I also said it on the other stream. I am very careful with Elliot Anderson. You know why I'm careful? It's like that flavor of the month thing. Even Semenyo, I don't want us to go to buy a player again who's like the flavor of the month that the season is done well. I think if we're buying a player at City now, we have to start buying players that at least we have to wait for them for two more seasons.
115.
Wow, 115.
So this is like the best day ever. We got over 100 subscribers. That happened easy. You guys knocked that out. So big ups to each of you. But 115, that 115, that's great. I don't know when the 115 actual verdict is going to come down or the decision is going to come down. But we got 115 up in here, and I appreciate you all.
That's what he wanted. I bet you that's what Hussam wanted. Yeah, that's what Hussam wanted. That's what he was waiting for some.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
But I appreciate that. Again, I'm sure Hussam and Mo and all the folks from over at MHF, LB, and everybody from that stream. Appreciate all you guys for being here. Kudos to each of you for helping me to get to 115. So go.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That Elliot Anderson, I'd rather Adam Wharton. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if the fan agrees with me. I don't want players that, because right now he's the flavor of the month and Semenyo. But I don't think that, okay, unless, look, I don't know, maybe they are that good. But Adam Wharton, I've watched him for seasons now, and I think he's good enough. And I've seen him through the seasons where he gets injured, he comes back. He's such a good passer and good on the ball. This Elliot Anderson, I just have this feeling that we might end up with the Calvin Phillips.
So sorry, I apologize. I cut you off, but let me ask this question because Adam Wharton is. Go ahead, Louis. Were we gonna say something?
There's a Rising Stars account, and they pointed out. I can't remember the stats. If someone can point them out, there's like Elliot Anderson against Brighton. I think on the weekend, he was the first player. I know they lost 2-0, but
I've seen that.
Yeah, he's the first player. I can't remember the stats.
I think it's 10. I think it's 100 plus touches, 10 tackles or 10 interceptions. One of those two.
Yeah.
5 or 6 big chances created, 10 successful dribbles, and I don't remember the other one. There was something else. I was like,
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
hell,
It's just like
nice.
I just saw them, and it's. I'll always like my first, and I know Spartacus has Pedri, mine's Valverde, and John Neves, but you have to go with what you need to get. And Wharton is good, but I get Anderson for now. If Wharton doesn't go in the summer, then it's easy to get him as the Bernardo replacement because it's going to be as hard a decision as Kev.
So what I was going to ask is, in my mind, Adam Wharton is he's a 6. He is like a Rodri.
Yeah.
Right. So meaning he's going to dictate play from deep. He's going to, be spraying balls left, right, and center. But I don't know if he's going to be like running all action, whatever, destroyer, not like that. Right. That doesn't appear to be his game to me. Anderson seems to have a little bit more physicality about him, but he's more box to box. He's going to get up and go down and do all the things. And of course, we talked about his stats or whatever. So I wonder if Adam Wharton is a fit for who City used to be, and maybe Elliot Anderson is a better fit for who we are today, based on the way that we're playing. I don't know that. I don't consider myself to be tactical or anything like that. But I'm just wondering if there's because of the way we play, the change in the style of we play, if one is just a better stylistic fit. But I do want to ask a question about this though, because I've seen and I've heard a lot of people are concerned about Elliot Anderson and whether or not he'll fail. Like we saw Calvin Phillips fail. We felt like we brought him in. He didn't hit. And I was actually on, I don't know, maybe it was LB with Martin. And Martin said that a lot of people don't want Phillips. And he thought he didn't want Anderson, because maybe he was an English midfielder and we hold that against them because of what we saw from Calvin Phillips. Do we are we really concerned about Phillips, a Phillips region, or a recreation of that situation?
No.
I trust Tuchel enough to know that he's picking the right team in a way.
So was Southgate the manager when Phillips was being brought in? I think.
Yes.
I think it was the England player of the season. Remember, English player of the season.
I say that's what I'm saying, because Calvin Phillips, we you know, as a fan base, sometimes we can criticize and we can go hard on him now, but and maybe there were people who were like, I didn't want that from the beginning, but he had done really well before he came to us. So I think, you know, just like maybe his stats aren't the same as what Anderson is doing now, but it wasn't like we thought he was a bum coming in. And he just didn't hit.
That injury he got against Barcelona in that friendly was just a freak. That's what it was. Like, and it was the exact same shoulder that he had at Leeds, and it just completely ruined his chances at City. Even though Rodri is who Rodri is.
Also, maybe wait. You know that the other thing about the thing is, I'm just worried about players that look good one season and then we're like, look, Anderson, you can see he's talented. So, let's not lie. The same way Phillips, there's a video out there on my channel, me saying Phillips is the best thing since sliced bread coming to City. So it's there. It's a receipt.
You got to take it down. You got to act like
I can't. I leave those. Once you flop at something, you take it. But I'm just saying, I'm just worried about, even that's why I was telling one of the guys, I was like, Livramento, I wasn't very excited. I was saying, let's see him another season. And now I look at him when he came back for Newcastle. The guy is a real deal. I don't know if it's just me. I just want that some of these players, especially in England, because the hype is real. Trust me, in England, we hype players. We hype players very well. So what I'm saying is, maybe it's best to let a guy play 2 seasons and then pick him up. Because when you pick him up after 1 season, you never know. When they come to you, that they're not going to look as good. That's why, as I said, do you remember the flavor of the season last time was Baleba? Everybody wanted Baleba.
But it's just, the thing is, Elliot Anderson's not going to be available next season.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
It's next summer. Next summer is a whole, like, basically anyone and everyone is going to be after him, basically.
I would be 100% with you. Like the right choice would be just wait. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's give him another season to see if he can keep the levels up. But unfortunately, that's not an option. We have to either pull the trigger now or not pull it at all.
So let me ask this question for the folks on screen. If you believe that Rodri is going to come back fully healthy, do we need to go get a midfielder?
Yes.
When you say fully healthy, do you mean to the same Ballon d'Or winning Rodri, or just fit enough to play?
No, I'm saying he gets back to his best.
I think you still need a number 8 in this team. I think somebody warned me about Tijani Reinders, and I shushed them away. I don't know if it was you, Spartacus. Somebody said, Patrick, be careful. This fella doesn't know what defending is. And I said, you're just jealous. That's what I said.
Me and Steve, we said that.
Yeah, somebody told me that this guy doesn't know the word defending. So I watched him today. So I think we need a balanced number 8. I think regardless if Rodri comes back, Nico G is there, we just need a number 8 who is just somebody who can defend and attack. I think we got so lucky with Gundogan. I don't think we can find, it's rare to find Gundogans out there, you know? So Tijani, he looks better when he's, but don't forget Tijani plays as an attacking midfielder, was playing as an attacking midfielder for AC Milan and his country. He looks way better when he's free from defending. But look, watch him today, Tarek, just watch him today. I was watching him in the game. Oh my God, he had no interest in defending. When we were getting countered, Tijani was up at the pitch, not coming back. I'm not trying to blame him. I think that's not his game. So we will need a midfielder, because the closest thing we have to a proper good number 8 is, what's his name? Kovacic. And I don't think Kovacic is going to be here for long. So we might need whoever, if it's Anderson or whoever people are going to look at, we might need somebody who's a balanced number 8 and very physical, because the league has become very physical.
Well,
I
to
think
answer your
we
question,
need-
Tarek, to answer your question, I think that you're more than likely going, if Rodri's going to be back to Ballon d'Or, Rodri, you won't need a Wharton because he's primarily a 6. You're going to need someone like an Anderson who's primarily an 8. And just take it from there, really.
My worry is that if Anderson's trajectory and the hype around him keeps going up, and there's already a ton of hype about Wharton, is that why would either of them want to come to City, considering the players that we have already? And maybe this is what you were hinting at, Tarek. Like if you do get Rodri back to full fitness, you've got Nico G, who's already been described as a mini Rodri and is filling in really well. Unless one of those leaves or another midfielder leaves. I know Bernardo's yet to leave, but
I'll say you're going to have Bernardo go. You're going to have to have Kovacic go. But do you also have to have, say, Reinders go?
But those guys, they're going to be looking for like the big move where they're going to be like, a featured player in a midfield. And
I've been told this by somebody that isn't in Madrid, that they know a lot of shit about Madrid. They know their stuff about Madrid. They're looking at Anderson.
Wow.
What about the report yesterday, though? I know he's a bit hit and miss, but Sasa said about his Anderson's entourage, he's planning for a move to City.
Nah, that guy, don't trust that guy. Don't trust that guy. Don't trust that.
Yeah.
But
I will say
that Madrid wants him as well. But
I do.
That's all there is to it.
Like pointed out earlier about LB, he got told, or like Ben Jacobs talked to Wolfie, and he might have a release clause in his contract for Champions League clubs. So
Elliot Anderson.
Yeah. I don't know how true that is because Marinakis is not. He's not.
This release clause thing is just a suggestion.
Rumor exit price for Anderson is 50 million, but only to a Euro Cup side.
Yeah, that's the one.
See, here's the two things. You've got two things going on here. You have the pull for Wharton and Anderson would be to play Champions League football and to work with a coach like Pep. And the pull in the opposite direction, I've forgotten what the bloody thing was now, but it's just, to me, the homegrown issue. That was the other thing. If we're going to lose some of these other English-born players at the end of the season, you're going to have to replace them somewhere.
Yeah.
True.
And I think that does play in Anderson's favor. It would play in Wharton's favor too if that was the option. But it feels like, based on all the rumors and all the conversation, which you can't put all your stock in it, but usually if there's that much smoke, there's a little bit of fire somewhere. So it does feel like Anderson might be the guy that we go after, but we'll just have to see.
Are we done talking about Morgan Gibbs White? Is that ship sailed?
You know what? You're reading my mind because I was going to ask, do we go back and consider that move again?
I would love him, honest to God. I was a big fan of him in the summer.
I guess it depends who we get. If we fail getting one of those two, or he could still be on the menu. You don't know. If the homegrown issue is still not resolved by that kind of, summertime, I'm assuming.
Has he fallen completely out of the England setup?
Gibbs White, yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You talking about Gibbs White?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not on little Tommy Tuchel's radar, is he?
He's not going to get out ahead over Palmer, Phil Palmer, Rodgers, Bellingham, Eze, Grealish.
Bellingham. The longer Bellingham gets playing for England, the less likely you guys are to win a trophy.
You can say that again.
Let me run through a couple of these. They're not. They're just things that I
that must be best mate in it.
Star
is best mate.
There's a question here, Tarek. Do you support the Dolphins or just the U? I went to Hard Rock a few years ago to watch NFL. I am a fan of the U. I went to school there a long time ago. And so I am a big fan of the U. Miami Snoopy is on here. He's a fan of the U. So for him and for
It's the Canes, baby.
it's the Canes, baby.
And those threes that are coming out.
Do you
What's
like
that?
do you like
Those new Jordan threes that are coming out. Are you getting those?
I haven't seen them. Are they green and orange?
Yeah.
I
Well,
have
they're
not
mainly
seen them.
white.
Okay.
Mainly white with green and orange hits on them.
No, send me a link because I will buy them tomorrow. But the issue is I probably won't be able to get to them.
I don't think I'll get this. I don't think I'll get this chance again. Do you like the Grand Prix around the Miami Dolphins?
Do I like the Grand Prix around the Miami Dolphins?
Like the stadium, yeah.
Do they have a track on the inside? They don't have a track.
It's on the outside.
do they?
It's on the outside. It's on the outside of the track.
I haven't actually paid attention, to be honest with you. I didn't really know. So when I went to school there so many years ago, they weren't playing in that stadium. That stadium is relatively new. They didn't play there. They played at the Orange Bowl back in the day. So if you know anything about it, you know kind of how old I am. But yeah, I'm a fan of the U. Somebody else asked a question about shouldn't you support NYCFC? Laugh out loud. So I will say this, right? The U.S. is so large that I am probably 8 to 10, maybe 12, maybe more than that hours away from New York City. But when they started that, because it's a new club that they, or new franchise, however you want to say it, that they started up, I did say I was going to support them just because of the city ties. And I don't live anywhere. I'm the closest team to me, MLS team, is probably 3 hours away. Chicago. Well, Cincinnati's probably about 3 hours as well. So I'm not close to any club or any franchise. So do I support NYCFC? When they were playing the other day, I turned it on and I watched it, but am I really a fan? No. But I do hope to go to their new stadium when they open it, 28 maybe. It looks like it's going to be pretty nice there in New York City. So I hope to get there. Go ahead.
No. I'll get a hold of this. Yeah.
All right. So let's see what else is on here. Holland joins the 100 club. Definitely don't want to lose. Oh, wait a minute. That was you that texted me. I heard it ding. Is the shoes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to check them out. So Holland joins the 100 club. So he did it
13 less than Alan Shearer.
Yeah, so it was like 111 matches, I think, is what it was.
That's some going there.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So 100 goals in 111 matches. So big ups to Holland. That's an amazing stat.
I'm kind of disappointed he left it out by he didn't decide to do it 4 games more.
Yeah. 115. But you know what? I want him to get it as early as he can. I understand the 115 tie, but I want him to get it as early as he can. I was actually kind of disappointed he hadn't gotten it earlier, because it really shows how insane this guy is, right? His play on the pitch is amazing. His ability to put the ball in the back of the net is crazy. And still, I think he can get more, because if you think about how many he misses, how many times he hasn't taken advantage of.
He could have had a hat trick.
Yeah, exactly. And he put that one. It like thundered off the post. So again, there's still a couple extra goals. I mean, again, it's hard to expect someone to get hat tricks every night. But he is putting himself in good positions, and I think tonight he ended up with 2 assists. That little through ball he played for.
That was brilliant.
Grinders.
Well, there was the Reinders one with the chip. That was great. I loved it. And those are things that I don't think he had in his game last season or in previous seasons. He's improving.
Yeah, he's not.
We talk about the assist to Foden. Completely intentional pass that he did.
It was like what was that goal he scored against Brighton when we won 4-2, where Jesus took the shot and Foden just gets a little flick on it.
Yep.
Yeah. So yes, Holland didn't know anything about that really the Doku pass that kind of knocked off of him and then went straight to Phil. But
Phil.
you know what? We were
That's a
given
new cheat code.
we were giving
Doesn't-
Jack Grealish credit for that kind of stuff at the beginning of the season and saying, look, when he's away from Pep Guardiola, he can do all these things. He's so great. He's so wonderful. And that's not to shade on it will sound like it, but it's really not to shade on Jack Grealish, but it's just to say that, hey, we want to give him credit. So let's give Holland credit too.
For sure.
Doku's kind of unlocked that this season as well. He's never really done that in the past. Like
So
I
he-
into the middle.
like that assist to the first goal for Haaland against United, like he never really did that before, and now it's like he can just zip the pass in. It's just the players don't notice it until too late, and then they can't get that touch, or if they do get the touch, it's a bit of a hard touch because it's like behind them. Or
You're talking Doku, right?
yeah.
Yes.
So that
it's-
ball
it's a
from
really-
the left, that ball that
Yeah.
he played in from the left, that we should give Reinders some credit for the dummy because, he has not scored. He's been frustrated in front of goal a little bit. So it would have been probably second nature to try to take that shot. But he gave up a shot for a better shot, which is what you asked for, and he allowed that ball to come to Holland. And once it got there, he's too close. There's no stopping it. The keeper's not going to save it. So, got to give him a little bit of credit for that. He doesn't get
Two big brain decisions in 2 games. You've got Vardiol jumping over Phil Foden.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you've got the dummy from Reinders today. That's nice.
It reminds me of another goal from early on this season, but I'm not going to say it because it's an opposition club. If
Oh,
you
and
know,
what's-
I was going to say, I don't know which one you're talking about. If they don't wear sky blue, I don't really watch that often.
Even if they do, if they're
yeah.
NYCFC,
Well said.
Yeah, well, I guess if they're NYC, I watched a whole. I don't even watch the whole game. I watched maybe a whole half of a NYCFC game the other day, and then I think they lost. They just got stomped out by Miami just recently, like 5-1 or something like that. So they're out of the playoffs. Their season is over. So Ryjack, who was on earlier, if you don't know, he has a channel. He comes on. He'll be on, what's today? Tuesday? Tomorrow, Wednesday, with Martin on his channel for Stateside Blues. But Ryjack posted, I don't know if he's still on or not, but he posted earlier, mathematically still in it, but feels further away than ever. Is that the sentiment that you have? We're down to only two points behind. Now again, they have a game in hand, but we're only 2 points behind. But I'm assuming that he's saying that because of the performance.
This is another way of asking saying what I asked earlier. Would you rather have played better today and drawn, or played like we did and won? It's the same thing.
Points. Always the points.
It's the culminations that we had. The 2 big ones so far were after the international break in August, United, Napoli, and Arsenal, and the other one was Bournemouth, Dortmund, and Liverpool before the last international break. And those games, I was comfortably like, yes, we have a chance. We're in this. But since the international break, and since Pep said we're like
Season starts now.
It's felt like we've not like
It didn't
thing is,
start
we
now.
we don't like the thing is we don't get draws. We only get wins or losses. The only one we got was Arsenal and Monaco. Those are the only 2 draws we've got this season.
Yeah.
So it feels like we're either going to win a game or lose them. And I don't want it to be that way. I want us to be consistent because I'm too used to it into my mind that we have the performances, we have the knowledge, we have the know-how to just.
It's just
get
where
into
we
those
are right
like-
now. It's where we are right now. We are a
that's the
work
thing.
in progress. That's the problem. We're a work in progress. It's going to take time. That we are in between not only different players hopefully leaving and coming in, but we're also in between playing
Different
styles.
ideas.
Playing
Yeah.
styles. So we're kind of transitioning between 2 different directly opposite playing styles. and the coaching staff have got to work on this to try and find a happy medium for the time being. But it's just where we are right now, and we're gonna lurch from great performances, with
Big
some
up
great
Bevo.
goals, and then to the other side as well, where we're going, my God, what happened there? And today was just typified that for me.
It might not even be
big up
that.
Bevo. Appreciate you. If you want to jump on, there's a link in the pinned message on the chat. You're more than welcome to jump on.
It might not even be that deep, in that I know the last two performances are starting to sniff a bit like last season. But last season was filled with bozo moments and not having a proper number 6, which is exactly what happened when we fell apart in the last two performances. So last game you had a couple of bozo moments that cost us goals, right? Nunes and Vardio. And today we seemed to fall apart when we had no proper number 6 on the pitch. So I think let me just wrap it up. So for me, it might be as simple as that, in that what you're seeing lately, which does look a bit like last season, could be down to those two things just happening in the last two performances.
I disagree, because the issues that we're seeing right now, those are issues that happened against Newcastle and happened against Leeds. The inability to deal with a high press when they go man-to-man and aggressive. And it showed against Man United when we had them. Luckily, we were already 3-0 up, and Donnarumma pulled some wonder saves, and Diaz pulled some wonder blocks. But if we're going to be counting on keepers making wonder saves and Diaz putting wonder blocks, maybe that's not going to be quite sustainable. So
Fair enough.
The problems that we're seeing right now, they were already there before. They were just being masked by the wins.
It does show you how key that number 6 position is, though, doesn't it?
Yes.
That would certainly help.
Makes the ball go around.
Because without that great player there, we don't look half the team. It hampers us in so many different ways. Pep obviously knows this. He used to play that position himself. We either get him back to being where he is, and the uncomfortable question might be, if we could never get him back to being that player, we might have to say goodbye to him. We might have to say goodbye to him. So it's something that we're going to have to consider.
Bevo, big ups, brother. Appreciate you jumping on.
Hello.
Question for you. Is your heart rate normal now?
It's getting there.
Did you go to the match tonight?
I didn't, mate. No.
Okay.
It was a tough. It was a tough watch, that second half, though. From sort of about 58, 60 minutes in, we just, there was an element of last season where it's almost like as soon as a goal goes in, the heads drop. We lose any kind of confidence. We start to capitulate. I said on the LB panel show before the international break, we looked really structurally really solid. Defense, midfield, and in attack. I think the international break hasn't helped at all, but
correct.
What I would say is I think we've got to count ourselves fortunate that we have come back from the international break and we've only played, Leeds and Fulham. And that's no disrespect to them as teams, but if we'd have played, I don't know, an Arsenal, a Chelsea, a Tottenham, we wouldn't be walking away with 6 points. I know, yeah. We wouldn't have been walking away with 6 points in the last two games. Absolutely no chance. And I just hope that moving forward we can take the learnings from the last sort of two games, because we've got a really tough fixture list ahead. We've got Sunderland next, never an easy team. It proved that when Arsenal played them a few weeks ago. We've then got Palace away, again, never an easy
between
fixture.
Real Madrid,
Yeah, we've
So let
also,
me ask this
Real Madrid as
question,
well. Yeah.
because Kurt Thompson sent this in a while ago. Don't be surprised if City don't win against Sunderland on Saturday. That's the next matchup. Based on
I think we're.
do you think we win it? Do you think what are you thinking?
I would be surprised if we
I
didn't
think
win
that
against
from
Sunderland.
You'd be
the
surprised if we
pattern-
don't win. Okay.
No, we're much better than Sunderland.
don't forget they're playing Liverpool tonight, and well, in England where I am in Beverwich.
Sure.
It's they play Liverpool, which is they probably like maybe in a way it's good for them playing Liverpool and then City back to back because it gets them that focus in their head.
So this, I'm looking at, I actually
They're
have
gonna
times
lose.
on this. This was actually an hour ago when this was sent. So do you think this was just a gut reaction to, having saw what you saw, and maybe now that you've had an hour to decompress, maybe you don't really feel the same way?
I don't think so, because if you look at the last two fixtures, I'm starting to see a pattern emerging. First half we were strong, we were solid against Leeds, and then the second half we just capitulated. The first half tonight was a totally different team to the one that came out in the second half. Yeah, we started the second half quite well, but then very, very quickly started to fall off a little bit.
Can I ask you one thing very quickly?
Yeah, sure.
What did the opposition change to make us capitulate like that?
So I think the biggest thing that I noticed, and the biggest thing that I can take away from tonight's game, I can't say too much about the Leeds game because I even though I was at the ground, like I wasn't inside the ground, for reasons that probably everyone knows by now.
Great job, by the way.
Thank you. Cheers.
Big up, Kelkster.
So yeah, I think the thing which I can notice the most, we've got an elite shot stopper in goal in Donnarumma, but the problem seems to be is that rather than going out and trying to close down the man before they have a shot, we're just sticking like 4 or 5 men in front of Donnarumma. Now that's going to block his sight of vision when he's trying to make a save, and I don't know whether it's what we're used to with Edison, because obviously Edison wasn't an elite shot stopper. But the thing which I've noticed is sticking 4 or 5 men in front of Donnarumma, where it restricts his vision, is never a good thing. You need to be getting out there. You need to be closing the man down, trying to prevent the shot to begin with. But when you stood in front of the goalkeeper, he's not seeing it till last minute, and that's the thing that I noticed in pretty much all of the goals. Really, like some of them, you can't dismiss that they weren't just really, really good goals, and it doesn't matter who you had in net that they would have gone in. But I think there was a couple there. I think it was the fourth one where he was trying to sort of save the ball, but he tried to put his hands up to save it when the ball kind of went down, and that was because he was trying to preempt where the ball was going to go, because he couldn't see he couldn't see the ball until it was too late. So I think if you've got an elite shot stopper, let him be an elite shot stopper. Get the man out, close the man, get your men out of the box, close the man down, and just let him do his job. And I think that's probably the one thing that I can take away from tonight's game, that could have maybe prevented some of the goals. That's probably the biggest thing.
Okay.
I think going forward, we were
wasn't
excellent,
where
though.
I wasn't going
Kelkster,
at that, but that's fair as well.
tell me about your thoughts on the match. And how are you feeling now that it's been a couple hours away?
Well, a lot better than just an hour ago. Even I think I've gotten my ranting out of the way. I think I aged 5 years during that second half. Wow, that was rough. I mean, I love the goals. I thought we looked very, very potent going forward. Great to see Holland get that 100th goal. Great to see Tijani finally come back onto the score sheet. Like I love how great of positions he gets in, but his shooting boots have been so gone for so long. So it's great. Maybe this is the opening of the floodgates for him. Let's hope so. Phil Foden stays hot. You gotta love that. And a little disappointed they turned the Doku goal into an own goal. So that was. They updated it to Sanderberg own goal. I was like, oh man.
I think it was actually going into the City fans. I think it was actually. I think it's actually going into the City fans. You know,
it's like pool. You play it off the bank or whatever, right? So yeah, he was playing it off the man.
Yeah. So and thinking, 60 minutes. Let's make some subs. I did not understand why we subbed Nico Gonzalez because I think we learned from last season that a DM is so crucial to everything we do, and John Stones we've also learned is not that guy.
But let me challenge you. But let me challenge you a little bit on that because we also have seen that if we don't give these players rest, a la Rodri, they end up getting hurt. So we have to give them rest at some point. And when you're up 5-1, I think is what the score was at the point. You would think a team full of professional football players would be able to hold on and see out the match professionally.
Mm-hmm.
Can I challenge you?
I don't think Nico G is quite that guy yet. And two, Nico G had 2 weeks off in the international break. He didn't play. So I realize he has a little more gas in the tank than someone like Erling Holland, who plays every game, every minute, every game. Joshko Vardiol plays every minute of every game. Ruben Diaz, who plays every minute of every game. So he's not the one I'm rotating. The Doku one I kind of get because Doku's had some injury histories in the past. And also, what I didn't understand is why Marmoush didn't come on because Marmoush, we have him for 2 more weeks. Apparently we're not going to let him go to AFCON early because despite the fact that Pep doesn't want to play him, we're not going to let him go. I don't know what's going on there. That is becoming a dramatic situation. And I hope we figure it out because I think we need Marmoush.
Hold on, Bevel, you were going to say something.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I think you're right in what you're saying. I think the subs that we brought on were good subs. But what you said there and what I've been thinking is, do you think maybe it was the wrong players that he brought off? So what I'm saying is you're 5-1, 5-2 up. Do you not think at that point you go, okay, we're going to take off Holland and, in effect, we don't need to go for another goal. So
you're right. You would think that's a perfect opportunity to get Holland off the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Get Holland off the pitch, overload the midfield, put a double pivot. Put a double pivot in someone to protect Nico G
But we've also seen that we cannot play. We cannot play without Nico G. So it's like, to me, I feel like Pep was saying, "Hey, get him off so I can preserve him for Sunderland on Saturday, and so that nothing happens between now and then." So it was kind of like I have to preserve him, and the rest of you guys should be good enough to keep a 5-2 or 5-1 5-1 lead. So again, we saw that when we took him off, we didn't play well. I think we saw when we didn't start him, I think it was the Villa match, we didn't play well. But people can say, we've played him and we've not played well. So, I'm not saying that he's the end all be all, but we don't have anyone else in that position. And so it's hard to say
when I say
take him off. Go ahead, Bebo.
When I say protect Nico G as well, I don't mean keep him on the pitch. What I'm saying is you protect him by taking him off, but you can play a double pivot, so you can put maybe O'Reilly and someone else in there, O'Reilly and Stones. So
and then bring
you sacrifice a striker to overload the midfield, basically.
That's what happened.
Or even
that's what happened.
Move
if you notice,
left back and put Husanov as defender. They brought pace on, so I don't know why Husanov didn't get in this game. We needed pace. We didn't need Nathan Ake, who can't keep up with Kevin. He just can't. It's 2025. I'm sorry. He's just not pacey enough to counteract that. And I don't know why when we have a player, we're not playing him at all.
Well, that's what happened. If you notice, Bevo, there was they put John Stones on and he played in the CDM role just for 10 minutes. And then he slotted back into the back four. Joshko went out to left back. O'Reilly came in and played alongside Bernardo in a double pivot. But even then, with all of that, 2 instead of 1-6, they played 2 6s next to one another. It still wasn't sufficient. So we've not got the personnel now.
No, because
I don't think either of them were
what you're
sixes,
doing
though.
is you're not overloading the
Yes, they
midfield
were.
because you've still got a striker on the pitch. So rather than having 3 in midfield, you could have gone for a 4 in midfield.
But
You
then
could have
you
done,
You know
lose.
but
what I
I
mean?
think
Just
there's
to
a bigger.
overload the middle of the
I
park.
think
But
there's
then
a bigger thing
Bevo,
going on
when
with
you-
Marmoush. I think there's something bigger going on. I think there's been a bit of a falling out with Pep, and I think he's trying to make an example of him. And I think
On
he's giving
who?
him minimal game time.
Talking about
Minimal
Marmoush.
game time.
So
I think he's
I don't
giving
have any reason to know that is or is not true. I will say that it is strange, weird, surprising that Marmoush has gotten very little playing time.
Yes, he's
Now-
giving him.
now,
Pep
but
said
I-
it.
Go ahead.
Pep said it in a way though, like crucifying after Leeds on Saturday with his embargo on Sunday. He said, like having having the strikers like Erling and Marmoush. In that same comment, he talked about how Doku, like, yeah, he's still doing as good as he is, and saying about the wingers they're not I can't remember the quote exactly, but
They're
it
not
was
scoring.
No, they didn't have a. He don't have
Like,
a
they're
sense of goal. They don't have a sense
Yeah.
for goal.
Yeah, that's the one.
But he was saying, I think Marmoush. He said Phil does. Of course, Erling Holland does. He said Phil does. I don't even know if Marmoush was mentioned in that quote or not. I don't remember.
No, he did. He said, like, it's basically he looks at Marmoush the same way as he does at Alvarez. But if you're going with that, then surely everyone knows you played him as a 10 for 7-8 months of the season when Kev was injured.
Do you think there might be an element of AFCON in there as well? Because if you notice,
That
right,
is-
I think there
it's not
is.
That
It's
is
not
what
that
I
now.
have been saying, and that is actually what I've been advocating. Not advocating, maybe strong, but if you know he's gonna be gone, why take the time to get him up to speed and flowing and free, in great form, only to take him out of the team? Why not get and keep the players that are going to be here in form, because we're going to need them over that month time frame.
Well-
But again, it does. Let me just say, it feels a little icky for Marmoush to not be playing at all. And again, I'm
right.
saying,
Yeah.
on one hand, I'm saying that I get it, but it's like, man, this dude, and maybe because I see Kelser advocating for him so much on social media or whatever it is, but he deserves to play.
Well, also, we don't have a Erling Holland backup. Erling Holland plays 90 minutes every game. We know Erling Holland gets injured every season. Why would you not use Marmoush while you have him to give Erling a little bit of a break? Like today, you could have given him 30 minutes off today. That might
Can I
make
answer
a
that?
difference of him not getting injured.
Can I answer
Why
that?
are we not using him at all? I just don't get it. Like
Can I
at
answer
all. We're
that?
paying him
Go ahead.
$290K a week to sit on the bench. It just
Go ahead,
doesn't make
Magnus.
sense.
I'm gonna drop off, by the way. But
Appreciate
keep
you.
up the,
Thanks for stopping
good
by,
work.
man.
Well done, Bevo, for all
Big
your
up,
Anytime,
those kids.
anytime you
worries.
want to stop over.
Well done, Bevo, for those kids.
Thank you,
Well done.
and I'll see you again soon. Cheers, lads,
Yep.
Okay.
and Calx.
Santa
See you later.
Go ahead,
later,
Magnus.
Right.
See you later.
I think, like I said, I think Pep's proven a point, and he's been a little bit belligerent. But I think Marmoush was one of the players who came knocking on Pep's door saying, I want more game time. And I think he's saying, right, you want game time? I'll give you game time. I'll give you like 2 minutes at every game. Because he doesn't like people doing that. That's just the way
I
he
just
is.
think
I
that's a
think that's what's
mistake.
happened.
That's a
But that's
mistake.
Pep being Pep. That's Pep being Pep. That's the way it is.
So he's not even a year into his City career. We paid $60 million for him, $290K a week, and Pep don't rate him and doesn't want to play him. That's a failed transfer then.
I mean, if it ends this way,
It's not a case of him. He's not rating him. I think it's just a case of you're not telling me who I should pick in my starting 11.
but I hear you, because if you're not going to play him, well, but again, he served the purpose that we brought him in for initially. He kept us.
Yeah.
He helped us get Champions League qualification last season. He was kind of the impetus for us to get through the back half of that season after the way we started so poorly. So it wouldn't be a failure from that standpoint just because he did, but there's so much more left that we're not getting out of him. It does feel like he's being wasted right now. And that's
I
fair.
agree with that.
But on the flip side, I have to say, if you want to put him in, you got to take somebody else out. And I don't know who we're taking out.
Well,
I
that's
would
the
like to
question.
see. I would like to see a front three of Marmoush on the left, Holland on the right, or the center, and then Doku on the right. I would like to just see it, see if it works. If it fails, don't do it.
Yeah, Doku's
Doku on
too
the
good on
right
the left.
doesn't work.
Yeah, Doku
We
on the
haven't
left
seen
is
it.
that.
It works for Belgium, and we haven't seen it.
Not
in City and Holland.
really. It's because it's completely different. This is the thing. We want our wingers to be playing as inside forwards, as tens. So when they cut inside, they have to be on the stronger foot. They can't be on the weaker foot. So let's pretend Doku is on the right side. He does his little shimmy and cuts in on his left. Then he has to cut in back on his right. When he cuts back on his right, he creates a gap for the defender that he just beat to come into the play again. When he's on the left hand side, when he cuts inside into his left and then into his right again, he's cutting that defender off, and he doesn't have an opportunity to get back into the play. So this is the reason why playing Doku on the right side is not efficient.
Yeah.
Well, then we got to find a way to sell Marmoush because he's too good to be sitting on the bench. Because I'm sorry, this is just he can't just be a backup striker to Holland. That's like the backup to Rodri. You don't play. And that's just an incredible waste of money from the club, to be honest. Even if it got us Champions League one season, I'm sorry, that's just really poor business.
This is probably the thing though as well. Like we're looking at it through the crucifix of this moment here and now. Pep is probably thinking about like trying to get, even though he's got his team in place, he's going to look at it and think, right, how do I get the best team, the best formation, whatnot, from February onwards? Whatever position, whatever position we're in that situation from that point. So, whatever team he has from February onwards, that's his team and that's what he wants. It's not now. Whatever happens from here, like Sunderland, Real Madrid, Palace, Brentford in the League Cup, that's all. It's just waiting until February now, and then. So
I think the problem we're going to run into is this 11 has been the same since like September, October. They're going to be burnt out in January and February. Like when we need them to play every single game, they've already played every single game for 3 months. Because what we've done in the past is we would rotate everybody. It would take Pep months to figure out what the best team was. Then he'd settle on it in March and we'd take off. I feel like he's already found his team in October, and they've been playing every single game of the season, except for a couple of cup games. And they're just not, I don't think they're going to have the stamina to make the run at the second half of the season, which is when we expect to make a title race, because there's been no rotation at all.
I think we have been hampered by not having a proper pre-season. And I think we've had injuries due to that as well. So that's not really been helpful. But it is what it is right now. We're in a transition, and we're having to play players maybe not in their best positions. And it's just the way it goes. You've got to do the best with what you've currently got. We'll get to January. There'll be some incomings, outgoings. And basically, like Louis said, from February, you see what you've got and you kind of go again. That's just the way it is.
We're gonna get out of here in just a minute, but I want to let's look at this. Martin's heart rate, then having to drive back. Anyone heard from him? Laugh out loud. I think he was going to do a space.
He's on a space right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he was going to do a space, but if you jump over there, remind him that he is the away match jinx. We probably again. I'm not.
So we blame him. So we blame him.
I was not
conceding 4 goals.
Look, I was not in the stadium. I cannot say this with any certainty. But there is. But how do we know? How do we know that somebody didn't just kick him out the stadium to ensure that we won the match, as opposed to, I don't know. Somebody asked him, hey, when they started scoring all the goals and they started coming back, did they put you out the stadium to make sure we secured our win? It's a very strong possibility. If you ask the guys over on his channel, they will tell you that he is the away day jinx. I don't know if he's ever watched an away win, so they might have had to put him out.
He was there for Ipswich when we scored 6. So
Okay.
technically we score a lot when he's there. So
yeah, we just gave up a lot today. So if you want to blame anybody, blame Martin, because I've heard that he is the jinx. Don't tell him I said that, because he might not invite me back on his channel. I don't know.
Well,
all right.
What we need is
it's
we need
me.
you to go to Fulham away from now on, because last year you got us Champions League football. So
I did. It was
for
great.
Carrick next season at Fulham away.
It was great. I will go to Fulham away. Well, I want to go to the Etihad. I got to get there. All right, let's see this. This was from earlier on. The Semenyo Holland counter will light the league on fire. This is saying that we're going to go get Semenyo and putting them two on a counter together. Really quickly, because I've got to get out of here. Do you guys think the Semenyo move is a good move? Was it something you wanted to see us do? Anybody not in favor of the Semenyo move?
I'm not against it.
Kelkster?
I don't want to be too negative, but I
Okay.
don't see it working out. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm sorry to be the Debbie Downer, but I don't see us playing counter
wait,
ball like that.
wait, Kels. Because of the player or because of how City play?
How we play. I think the problem with our season right now, I think our midfield is just a disaster right now. Just like last season. And I thought a summer in new signings would help, but we're finding the same problems as last season. I think if you're gonna like that to me is just, unless you have to sign a midfielder. I think we need extra coverage there. We're getting bullied. We're losing the ball. So how are we going to counter if we keep losing the ball? If nobody can progress the ball forward consistently, that's been a problem. So I think the midfield is, like, if you sign Semenyo, fine, but we won't get the best out of him until we fix our midfield.
To me, it's just one more person that we got to try to figure out how we're going to fit into our lineup. And I know they say he can play right wing, so maybe that's where he just goes. But what's that? Oh, I thought I heard somebody say something. If we bring him in, he's got to go on the right wing because Doku's playing on the left. Now, of course, there's some rotation or whatever, but I just don't know. That's one more person that's going to be in Marmouche's way from getting any game time. I don't know.
Yeah, that is something to.
I'm not opposed to it, but I don't know. I mean, he seems really good. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not sure.
It's actually the forgotten man in our squad, or not in the squad.
Who's that?
And I hate Bob. Unfortunately,
yeah, Bob's got to go. At the end of the day, Bob's got to go. I appreciate Bob. I love him. I think his City Academy player, all those things. Great. I love it, but he's got to go. Even if it's just go on loan. Got to go on loan. Got to get game time. Got to get his confidence back. I had high expectations for him. I still do. I think he's going to be a really good player, but he's got to be playing and get his confidence back because he today is not the player that we saw previously.
Well, I'm way more like on Bob. I think he's got that quality that he's like unbelievable. He's got that talent, and I know he's got it in him. It's a shame that he's not there, whatever it is. And I hope he gets it back in himself.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. So big up to Oscar Bob and get back into the team, the squad, or wherever you go.
Yeah. Snoopy said
you're that good a player.
Yeah. I've heard mixed reviews on Ba's loan, Juma Ba. His loan, Hayes is starting to turn heads, though. Another comment here said, yep, Hayes was outstanding against Real and Barca. Another comment says, you're right about that. Ba is still behind Hayes, but that doesn't mean he can't be as talented as him. Of course, we're looking at our folks that are out on loan. Do you see either of those two or both coming back in next season?
I think Victor Hayes will come back. I mean, to do that, I watched that Girona Real Madrid game, and he was very good. in that game. Granted, I've been trying to watch more Girona, but I haven't. But that game was very impressive. To do that against those players, that shows me something. And the commenter said that he had a good game, Barcelona. I think he fits what we need too, because if a Stones moves on next season, we're going to need his profile because he's very good on the ball, and I've heard rumors that he can also play at 6. So that to me seems like a player you're going to want to bring back. Juma Ba, I've watched a couple of games from Nice. I don't really have an opinion on him yet, but he could probably benefit from another loan. Maybe give him one more year, and so just try to bring it because next year. I thought Husanov was going to develop more this season, and it looked like he was on pace to until he got injured, and now he can't get any game time. So I think next year might be Victor Hayes and Husanov development years, and so that's going to be you can't add Juma Ba to that. That'd just be too much. That'd be way too much inexperience. So just give Ba another season on loan because he's only I think 20, so he could do another year and be fine. But Victor Hayes, I see coming back in the first team next year.
Simon, I see your comment. Unfortunately, I'm going to get off of here. I've got to go do a recording with Shades of Blue, so I don't have time to get into it. I saw you say Holland, anyone else. We could have a debate about it, but Magnus said he lost his connection. So we don't have time to get into it today, but maybe another time. But I wanted to just say thank you to everyone that has been here. It is 214 of you all still out there. I know it. I don't know if all of you are from the US. I doubt it. So it is 130 over in the UK. So maybe it's 1:30 in the UK. So I really appreciate all of you hanging out with me. It just does my heart good to know that you're willing to take your time and give it to me and spend it with me. So I appreciate that. Big ups to all the content creators who came over and jumped on the stream today, whether they were in the chat or on camera. Obviously Patrick was here earlier. Kelks is here. You want to shout out your channel? The two of you do?
Oh yeah, I've been doing I do all my content on Patrick's channel, True City Fan TV. We did a watch along today. It got a little emotional, and then we did a post game, and that got really heated. I thought I'd gotten all the heat and aggression out, but I apologize for coming in hot. I'll just say that.
No, it's all good. Hey, we appreciate it. That is the point of Talk Back Tuesdays. Right now I'm only streaming once a week because I'm trying to do something that I can be committed to. And be consistent with. And so Talk Back Tuesdays the intent is for people to come on and have their say. And sometimes there's going to be things that I might think are outlandish or you might think are outlandish, but people strongly feel, and I want to give them a space to be able to say that. So coming in with strong takes and heated discussion, it's all love. That's the point of this show. So appreciate you. Also big ups to Bevo who and Luke who was in the chat from
Not in My Lifetime.
Not in My Lifetime. Yes, Not in My Lifetime. Big ups to Mulv from Noisy Pod. I said Patrick already. I'm sure there's somebody that I'm missing. Please forgive me. Of course, to LB for the raid, to MHF, Mo and Hussam for the raid as well. Appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will be back here this same time, 6:30 Eastern time in the US, 11:30 UK time. Whatever that time is, wherever you are, I will be back here the same time next Tuesday. I hope you'll come back and hang out with me again, but certainly appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. And we'll see you again next time.